loves, and welcome to another tabletop TBR, which is the game that I created to pick which book to be read, this case in the month of August. And we have a lot to go through since I was on a little bit of a break last month, so got some catching up to do. So let's go through the points of June and July, and then we will hop into the actual gameplay for the month. Okay, first, last month I ended up getting 1 board point during gameplay. I ended up reading 5,527 pages throughout the 2 months, mostly in June. I only finished 2 books in July. It was a thing, but that gives you 5 points there. I completed 3 prompts on their own, so I get 3 points for completing these 3 books. In addition, I have 4 books that I used bonus prompts in addition to the regular prompts, so that's 2 points each, 8 points total on top of our original 3. And then I have 1 book that has 2 bonus prompts, 1 for 2 points plus a prompt, so this one is 4 points on its own. So that is 15 points right off the bat. Then I ended up reading 7 books that were a continuation of a series, which is one of my bonus point options, which means that we ended up with 28 points for our tracker. Okay, so here we are adding up all of the points, completed 1 board completely, going into the next one and catching all of those bonus cards. And as you can see, like, wow, we're doing good. Completing a 2nd board, what? Okay, that was successful. That means we get to pick 6 bonus point cards for completing the trackers, in addition to the 5 picks that we do at the beginning of each round. So first one is plus 2 points if I read a book with 500 or more pages. 2 points if I read a sci-fi. Plus 1 if I read a book with a red cover. Plus 1 for reading a book that focuses on LGBTQIA plus topics. Plus 1 to read a debut novel. And lastly, it's worth more, plus 2 when completed. Okay, so for the rest of our points, we do get 20 milestone points just for completing the 2 trackers. And I also completed my 100th book of the year. So I have hit my main milestone, which means I get 10 points for hitting my book reading goal of the year. And it resets my milestone points. So when I read 25 more books, 50 more books, 75 more books, and 100 more books, I will hit those milestones again as a like bonus thing. I might do them at doubles for hitting them over my yearly goal, because that would be pretty cool. So that's a total of 30 milestone points this round. And I ended up reading a total of 14 books these past 2 months. So for our total points this round, we got a whopping 72 points. That means we are just 4 points shy of our highest total this year. Like February, we are coming for you. And it's really all for hitting those milestones. Like, let's be honest, I didn't read that much. So let's see if we can double those milestone points moving forward. It is now time to figure out what we're gonna be reading this month. Let's start off by pulling our game bonus cards. I'm just gonna pull 2 of these. So first one is our busy one less read, and then second is another let's re-roll that. And I'm gonna put these off to the side, and we're going to pick our point bonus card, which gives us options for things to read. So first one is a bonus point if it's a mystery. We usually do 5 of these. It's worth more when completed, so this can be added to any book. An additional bonus for a reread. This is one of my bonus prompts in general, so that'll be a double bonus. Bonus point for a romance. And then lastly, another busy, read 1 less, still get a point. Okay, so we're definitely gonna get a lot of points. And I think that's everything to get started. So let's see how the board treats me. We already know sometimes it's friendly, sometimes it's not. So what'll it be this month? Okay, so we got 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just a regular prompt. which is a physical read. All right, for our first prompt, I want to take things a little bit easy because I haven't been reading as much recently, so I decided to go with a graphic novel for this, The Adventure Zone Murder on the Rockport Limited, which is the next in the series and has a little bit of a mystery vibe. So I figured I can use the bonus prompt mystery for this. So pretty excited. This is a Dungeons and Dragons actual play podcast campaign that has been turned into a graphic novel, and I love it. I loved the actual podcast. I love the comics. I love the whole world. So super excited to continue because I've had this for a while and I've been holding off on reading it because I don't want it to be done. Now is the time to get my tabletop role-playing game fix with the Adventure Zone. All right, normally we start a base of 5 rolls, but because we skipped last month, I think we're gonna bump it up to 8 rolls. Let's do 8 rolls. I might regret that. We have 8 rolls. We just did 1, so we're down to 7 more rolls. Okay, a 4 and a 2, so 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 6. We skipped a double prompt. All right, witchy read. For our next prompt, I'm gonna go with the new release Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. And this one I know is steeped with magical elements. I don't know necessarily if it would count as witchy, but it's kind of the only thing that I have right now that fits the bill. So hopefully I'll still get the vibes, even if it's more magical realism than anything else. It sounds like this family has guarded a ancient collection of rare magical books, but magic comes with a price and the sisters have separated. There's issues and tensions between them, and after their father dies, reading a book that they're unfamiliar with, they all have to come back together and solve what is going on. It sounds right up my alley, and since this is a debut novel, I'll be able to get a bonus point if I complete it. Next up, we have 6 remaining rolls. Okay, a 3 and a 1, so 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, okay, we're just skipping all of the things. Okay, this is a fun one. Highest rated on Goodreads that I haven't read before and physically own. Next prompt, and I'm gonna be honest, this is a struggle. So for some reason, the actual sorting options for my Goodreads was not working. So I had to try and sort it and then scroll through and see which ones that I can find were the highest because they just were a mess. I did find some sequels to specifically some Brandon Sanderson fantasy series that I have not started that were actually the highest rated ones, but books that are either a first in the series, a standalone, and then I have the highest rating one that I was able to find was Know My Name by Chanel Miller, and this book I have wanted to read for a while. I lost it during the move last year, so I had to buy a new one because it got lost in the mix. I was waiting to find it. I wanted to read it last year, and obviously it didn't work out because I just didn't have access to it. So a couple of months ago, I bit the bullet and bought it again because I really want to read this book. This is a non-fiction book about a big trial around a woman who was assaulted and who was anonymous during the trial, and her experience going through just the awfulness of how victims are treated in these scenarios because he was a good boy, even though he did a terrible thing to her. And this is her sharing her name and speaking up and talking about what she went through. And I've heard really, really good things about it. I know it's going to be heartbreaking, but I definitely do want to read it. So now's the time. Okay, so that means we have what? 5 more rolls currently. Okay, a 4 and a 6. Big numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. almost got demoted, but we're good, we're good. All right, a book with a face on the cover. Next up, we have the prompt face on the cover, and I'm going with She Is a Haunting, a YA horror by Trang Than Tran. And we have a girl who is going to visit family, and her only goal is to pretend that everything is all right, even though it isn't, just so that she can get the college money she needs to do the things that she actually wants to do. But the house has other plans. So I'm a big fan of haunted house scenarios, spooky situations, figuring out the mysteries behind stuff. So this is right up my alley. I'm super excited to read it, and hopefully it's enjoyable. I think this would also be a good one to use one of my +2 when completed prompts, so I can get some extra points and have a good time, you know? Okay, 4 remaining. 5 and a 3, so 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mystery mug. TBR jar time. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, they're all kind of folded together. Let me try and separate them a little bit. Benefit of the TBR jar is that because I don't get to pick a book specifically, I usually tack on extra points for completing anything that I do from the TBR jar. I took out all books that I don't have because I'm trying not to buy a bunch because I've spent a lot of money recently, so we don't need that right now. But yeah, let's figure out what we're gonna read. Really try and mix this up. Oh, I dropped one. Spin the Dawn, +2 points. What was the other one? Maybe I can give myself a choice. Magician's Impossible. I'm gonna go with Spin the Dawn. Okay, so we have Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, and this is a story about a girl who I believe likes making clothes, and she ends up getting pulled into this competition, and I think there's something magical involved. I don't know too much. I've heard some good things, I've heard some not some good things, but I did recently finish 6 Crimson Cranes, also by Elizabeth Lim, and really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to read more stuff from her and see if she can become a new favorite. We'll see, we'll see. And even though I'm going to automatically get 2 points for reading this because it is a TBR jar pick, I'm going to use my second It's Worth More prompt to get another double points because, you know, like I said, trying to rack up them points. Need to catch up. 5. Okay, so we have 3 more rolls. I guess it's good that we added since we're not getting any doubles or anything. Okay, so 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we passed start, so we do get a board point. Let's just mark that there. Okay, and we landed on a regular prompt. So a book published in 2020. Next prompt. This one is a little bit difficult because the further I get away from that year, the harder it is to remember what's there that I haven't already read. But I did found Love Her or Lose Her by Tessa Bailey. I think this would be my first Tessa Bailey book, which is surprising because I do really enjoy romance, but like I feel like I don't read it that much on the channel. I've been exploring other avenues. So hopefully this will be a fun turn to a genre that I love. This will also fit perfectly for the romance prompt, obviously, as this is a second chance romance from a couple that used to be high school sweethearts, madly in love, things fell out. Now they're distant people, and in a effort to turn things around, Rosie demands that they go to a relationship boot camp. So this seems like it'll be fun and cute, and hopefully I enjoy it. Plus, I tend to be super forgiving with anything that has a big romance plot, so I'm sure it'll be fine. 2 more to go. All right, a 5 and a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We just skipped a jump. That would have been nice. An audiobook. Next up, I do have the physical book for this one. I'm gonna go with Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I ended up getting this in the subscription boxes that they have going on from the Kickstarter last year, which includes the physical special edition plus the audiobook and the ebook. So all of the books I have in all of the formats, which is great. I freaking love having options for my book and not having to spend extra for it. So that's a lot of fun. This book, as far as I know, is a fun, standalone, cozy fantasy in a pretty intensive world where we have a young princess who goes to save the prince sort of scenario. Apparently there is this like world building aspect where there's these spores that like are in the air, and when they touch water they like expand into these like big whatever, and so it's super deadly because if you were to breathe in the spores it would expand and obviously kill you. So it's really dangerous, which is why most people don't go out on adventures. But our heroine decides that it is time, and she does. So super excited to finally get around to this. I was also gonna try and use this book for the 500 plus pages prompt because it's chunky. It's chunky, but it is just barely under 500 pages at 475. Heartbreaking, so close. And the possible last roll of this round. 7, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we get a random pick roll here. So let's see what the prompt is. A 3 is a mood read. All right, so I guess Tabletop TBR decided to be super nice with me today. And our last prompt is a mood read. So I'm actually going to save this for later. Sometimes I pick a book in advance, sometimes I don't. Regardless, I'm able to change it based off of whatever I'm feeling. So this time we're just gonna leave it open to that. I do have several prompts left over that if I don't find something to read, I will lose them. So hopefully I can find something that fits with these prompts. I will be reading the Sunbearer Trials for the POC book club. Join us. It's always fun the more people we get for the live shows, right? And then the book I'm planning on reading for the Buzzwordathon challenge this year is Tender is the Flesh for the body part prompt. And this is a weird cannibal story. We'll see. We'll see. I think I can also use the red cover prompt for this, so that'll be nice. And lastly, I still have 4 rollover prompt books that I can read for additional points, but any bonus prompts that were associated with them I will not get unless I use the new bonus prompts. So that is all of our books for the month. You can watch more videos from the TBR game series or watch some of my reading vlogs. Thanks so much for being awesome. I will catch you in the next video. Until then, bye!